their mind like, man, they just methodically shoved it right down our throat.
That one right down the middle. And his guys one up the opposing field goal. They start with 7 on their opening drive. Now after the touchdown, they'll kick it back and see what the opposition can do. Has this at the 6. And this drive will start inside the 25. Visitors and their quarterback ready to take over once again. And he's been one of the best at leading an offense this season. As you can see, he's at 2nd in the NFL right now in touchdown passes. They'll run here on 1st down. Nothing doing on the outside there. No gain on the run. That's going to bring up 2nd down.
Hey, range is not an optional feature for middle linebackers in today's game. It's a prerequisite for the job. And this guy definitely has it. Followed that play from the start, and he ended it with a loss.
A play fake. Now Smith to throw. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. His first target doesn't lead to his first catch. And things look tougher now with 3rd and long. Looking to throw, Smith. And they can't connect on the 3rd down deep shot. Love the courage they had to try it, but it's incomplete, and now we've got 4th down.
We know in this league you can't start every game with scoring drives, but I think that's a clear picture of why you don't keep this drive sustained. Got to execute on the most important down, and that's 3rd down.
He's getting nothing on that return. They wrap him up almost at the exact spot that he fielded that punt. Back out comes the Chicago offense for their 2nd drive. And we'll see, Brock, if they go back to that ground game this drive after how well they ran it their last time out.
I'm going to probably say yes on that one, Kate. This is a team with a known identity across the league. They're going to hang their hat on running the football effectively. I think they'll get right back to work.
He wisely avoids contact, sliding down there, and that played good enough for a first.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
From the gun, here's a handoff. Wow, he had to power through one tackle just to get back to the line that time.
So close to a big loss of yards for those guys up front. 1 second sooner, they got a tackle behind the line, but a stop to celebrate nonetheless.
He doesn't see a window he likes, so he just got rid of that one. And it brings up 3rd down.
That was pretty cool right there. I mean, that is an underrated effort on that play from his target, hustling and bustling his way to make sure he was in the neighborhood of that throw. So the Zebras, they couldn't penalize the throwaway.
And that one's too far in front of them, so now they're facing 4th down.
Kate, you know I talk to you all the time about these money downs and 3rd downs and the plan you got to have. It's kind of like a manufacturing plant. You've got to manufacture open looks, and that time, the plant was closed.
And he calls for the fair catch, and he's got it at the 14-yard line. Chicago's offense trotting out there for another series. Their last drive didn't make it very far before they had to punt it away, partner, so hopefully this one has some better legs to it. 1st and 10 now. Here's Smith. Tight end reels in the shallow throw. And he'll get this up to the 19-yard line as he stopped. Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5.
At the 19-yard line.
Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
Brought down at the 35-yard line. A gain of 15. 1st down, Chicago.
They're set up at the 35 now. Smith on 1st down. Has him on the quick hitter. And he's downed after getting this up to the 41. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4.
A 5-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down. At the 40.
Hand off to the back. he'll be out of bounds at his own 45. All set up now for 1st and 10.
First down, Chicago.
Back to the well again. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that 1st down play.
Brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard.
1 quarter done, 3 to go in this battle of elite teams. 7-3 is our score. Back to the Windy City in just a moment. We're back, and we'll join this drive already in progress to begin quarter 2. They have 2nd down behind the sticks. That's incomplete left side. Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here.
It's 3rd down and 11.
Now Smith, rolling out to his left. He's running for it. And he has it up towards midfield before he's taken down at the 47.
That's just the case where you're trying to make something when there really is nothing there. There just wasn't an opening for him to work with, and he was lucky to get what he could.
Chicago brings out the punting unit. And this will be his 2nd effort of the contest. Ooh, it's away, but he knows he mishit that one. Headed for the sideline. And this punt is out of bounds with no chance at a return. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 30. The home team's headed back out on offense. Their quarterback returning to the field now. And it's not just a blip for him this year. He's been one of their go-to scorers on the ground as we get through the heart of this season, leading all quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns. He's got a man left. He's going to get a few here, brought down at the 33-yard line.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
The give here on 2nd. And that one doesn't get him much. Give him maybe a yard. It's 3rd down.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
3rd down from the gun. All the left side. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Finds him quickly on the RPO. And he gets back to the line, but no more.
You know, I've learned over the years, defensively, they call that the camera club. How many different guys can get rallying to the football? So that last shot you see on camera, you see as many defenders keeping that to a 0-yard gain. That's well done defensively.
Big catch is made, and he got the feet in, too. All on the 45, 1st and 10.
It's a gain of 11. Complete to Travis Hunter. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Blown back in the backfield, and he gets the handoff. Quick adjustment defensively to stop him this time, so no gain on 1st down.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 now. And again, an interception is dropped. Looked a whole lot like the last play, didn't it, partner? And again, the turnover escapes him. It's going to be 3rd down. Toward the sideline, and he's got it. They have themselves another 1st and 10.
It's a gain of 23 yards.
Keeps it on the option here. 1st down play, nets him 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
The difference right there, Kate, between that gain and a big hit for a loss, is really quick decision-making. He made a quick read, saw the running back was going to get hit if he handed it, and he pulls it himself for a positive gain.
He's going to get this down to the 9. That puts him in goal to go.
First and goal at the 9-yard line.
Might be trying to power this across, Brock. They've got 3 tight ends out there. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and punch it in. Well, so much for finishing things on the ground, huh? He is stopped at the line. They're going to have to regroup now on 2nd and goal.
No gain on the play. Leads to 2nd and goal.
This time it's a passing play. And they get to him again. Good pressure from the defense there has them trending in the wrong direction.
Bend. Even good defenses, great defenses in this league, Kate, they're going to bend at times, but you never want to break. And when you get a sack in the red zone, well, that goes a long ways to helping your efforts.
And he'll score. Touchdown, Chicago! Well, we all know that he's somebody they like to have working down near the end zone, Brock, and there is so many ways they know how to use him down there.
And things are constantly different down there when you're trying to defend him, which is what makes defending him so tough, borderline impossible at times. He can make the smallest little tweaks to his route just like a receiver would. It's a totally different animal, a nightmare for these defenses.
That one splits the uprights. And these guys drive their lead to 11. They put a touchdown on the board, and now they'll send it away. Fielded just shy of the end zone. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line. Chicago getting set to take the field now. And they find themselves trailing by 11 as they take over down 14-3. Chicago bringing the offense to the line. It's 1st and 10. Smith back to throw. Short pass caught by his tight end. It's a gain of 11 there. That picks up the first. They're set up at the 35 now.
First down, Chicago.
Read option on first down. He's going to keep it. And he'll be brought down a step or two shy in midfield. They're going to mark him at the 48. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a first down.
First down, Chicago.
Hands it to the receiver here in motion. Oh, look at this sweep. And he takes it just inside the 40, down to the 39. They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12.
A gain of 12. First down, Chicago.
First down now, ball at the 39-yard line. Here's Smith. Completed to his running back. He stopped at the 31-yard line.
A gain of 7 brings up second down at the 30.
Here's 2nd and 2. Jump off caught by his back. And they bring him down after the play reaches the 26. He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10.
First down, Chicago.
Out of the gun, here's Smith. Short pass brought in. And they take him out of bounds, which means his offense setting up for 1st and goal. They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal.
Chicago.
Trying the right side. And he takes this one in for a Chicago touchdown. PAT effort coming up. Right down the middle, it's good. And his guys cut the lead down to 4. We've got a good one here. They've cut the lead to 4 as they send it away. Brings in the kick at the 9. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Chicago's offense trotting out there for another series. Their winning streak just keeps growing and growing, Brock. 7 wins in a row now, and with this lead, could be an 8th straight. On first down, they'll run. And I don't think he got beyond the line there. Yep, no gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd down.
Behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of a yard brings up 2nd down at the 26-yard line.
Back to throw now. Gets it to him on the screen. And he'll go down and we'll say right at the 39-yard line. Offense set for a 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Right up the gut. Now he continues to find no traction on the ground here, Brock, as they bring him down for no gain.
Behind the line of scrimmage.
Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 38-yard line.
Shotgun snap, looking to throw. It's downfield. He's got it. partners as he finally is brought to a stop.
Gain of 24 yards. Complete to Josh Downs. First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Markers reset, ball at the 37. Here's the lone back on the handoff. Had some room to work, and he took advantage, giving 7. 2nd and 3 now.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Shotgun snap, they're going to throw. He completes it in traffic. And they bring him down. Looks like he got it to the 27.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Takes out a one-stop. A solid block in there, springs him for 8. It's going to be 2nd down.
At the 19-yard line. Brings up 2nd down.
From the 19. And he just got it away before the hit, but the pass winds up incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down.
It's a quarterback you love when that screen pass is called. At least I used to. And you want to attract that defense and all those guys coming after you. But you also got to find a throwing lane. And he couldn't do it on that one.
That's caught for the first. And they're going to bring him down just as we've come up to the 2-minute warning. So we've reached that 2-minute warning. This offense in position now. It's 1st and goal. Lone back in the backfield, and they give it to him. And he gets in. Touchdown. These guys grow their lead just before halftime. So, Brock, this offense looking sharp here in the first half as they extend their lead.
You know, and when things are going well, sometimes you really just get into a groove. And this is a unit that's putting the pieces together.
That one right down the middle. And these guys drive their lead to 11.
Visitors 10.
And after they reach the end zone, they'll kick it off and turn things over to the defense. This one's fielded at the 4-yard line. Juke the defender. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25-yard line. The visitors and Rasheen Ali just about set to get going again on offense. And among his touchdowns out of the backfield this season, this one is notable. On that last drive, he hit a benchmark that he's been pushing for. First down, Smith to throw. Setting up the screen. And they blow up the opening play of this drive. Love the aggressiveness from this defense.
I know coordinator quarterback going to be upset with that first down because you call a screen on first, you're thinking stay ahead of schedule. Even a minimal gain to stay on pace, but instead, the defense creates a negative play and sets him back behind the sticks.
Throwing the out route complete. And he gets it up close to the 25 before he's out of bounds.
A gain of 4. And it's 3rd down.
Throwing on 3rd, Smith. Throw left side, complete. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. The defense calls a timeout, so that's their first. As they'll get together and discuss with 4th down coming up. They're out now, ready to punt it. And they could really use a good one here. And he's certainly been staying busy. Once again, he's out to punt and sends this flying. He calls for the fair catch and has it at the 22-yard line. The home teams are being led back out there on offense by their quarterback. And we're all hoping his hot start can continue. He's been putting up some numbers early in this contest. Play action on first down. Cut out left. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
Good offenses, good play callers know how to utilize their personnel. They know where they wanted them. They wanted them in a route in space where he could make that initial play comfortably, then go to work after it.
Has him on the quick hitter. And they'll make the stop up at the 46-yard line. Before we can get a snap on second down, they call timeout. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason. This is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
Now here he goes. And he slides down with enough to pick up that first. Now the offense is going to take its 3rd and final timeout. And that's all they've got for what little remains of this half. First and 10, ball set up at the 48. He'll look to throw. Finds the in route, complete. And he's going to be drugged down, looks like at that 37-yard line. Working quickly here.
That's another.
And they're going to get up to it and spike it. That's going to stop the clock. Second and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. Looking to the air here. Hits him on the in route. And he's stopped at the 31-yard line. Offense up to the line fast. And he spikes it just before we hit 0, so they've got a chance now to add 3 here before we break on a long field goal attempt. Just 4 seconds left, Brock. Only time for one play. Man, it's going to be a field goal try. This is a 48-yard look for him. And that one is good. A little longer, but no problem at all. And that extends their lead to 14.
We know that most of these coaches really don't crack that big smile until they get that W with 60 minutes over. But I see a little sly smile on that coach's face because that's terrific execution. You work those situations to pay them off with points. They did just that.
All right, this is going to be the play that takes us to halftime. He's back to throw. Hits him on the out route. And he will wind up out of bounds after a first down gain of right around 3 yards. So entering the locker room.
All right, Kate, thanks very much.
It's time to hear from Scott
10
Hansen.
weeks have come and gone. The temperature's starting to dip a little bit here in November. Lots to show you. Let's talk about it. Our journey through the NFL starts now at Ford Field in Detroit. The Lions at home to take on their NFC North rivals, the Packers. And this is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He'll take it all the way to the end zone. What a play for the score. The Lions get win number 4 on the season. They come away with the victory. Up next, another intriguing matchup. And it's the former number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. Thinking about throwing, then decides to run. He's in for a 10-yard touchdown. Lastly, we go to Indianapolis. It's the Colts taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And here comes Derrick Henry. He's going to take this one in, 7 yards on the rushing touchdown. The Ravens on top in this one at halftime. With that, time for a look at the rest of the action going on here in week number 11 in the NFL's regular season. Meanwhile, in our game, it was a competitive, hard-hitting first half. We expect more of the same going forward as we hand it back over to the commentary team, Kate Scott and Brock Huard.
Thanks so much for that look around the league, Scott. Now let's turn our attention back to this one as we get set to begin our third quarter. Teams are back out on the field. Everyone is set, and the second half is underway. Return starts at the 3. Jukes one defender. And the tackle's made as he gets it out to the 32. The home teams ready for their next series. Led out on offense by their quarterback. And you want your quarterback to, number 1, find ways to score for your offense. You always tell me that, Brock. But also, he's done it more than just through the air for them. That last drive, a notable touchdown for him on the ground for the season. And he powers ahead for about 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
It's one of those sneaky little runs, Kate, that gets you enough yard to create some doubt into that defensive coordinator. You could stick to the ground. You could throw beyond the sticks. You really create some indecision now defensively.
Connects on the crosser. And they'll make the stop up at the 46-yard line. Still on the move, coming to the line for 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Taken in by Downs, left side. And this one's brought to an end well downfield from that line of scrimmage. Ball at the 33 for first down.
That's another first down.
Now they'll throw out of the gun. Big catch made, and he got both feet in. They're 10.
First and 10 at the 14-yard line.
He keeps this one himself. And they aren't going to like this. They went to the zone read, and it winds up losing them 3 yards.
It's easy for me to say up here in the friendly confines of the booth, Kate, but that was not the right read. And you hate seeing him absorb yet another hit at the end of the play. You never want him taking unnecessary shots throughout this game.
And back-to-back passes that should have been intercepted. 2 great chances to take it away. Both of them dropped Brock, and now they stay out there for 3rd down. They'll throw it. This one's caught. And he'll get this inside the 10 to the 9. Now on 4th down, they're out to try for the field goal. This only a chip shot from the right hash. And it is good. No problems there on the shorter attempt. And that makes this a 3-score game.
That's why they spend all the time on the practice field during the week. That kind of operation. Perfect rhythm, perfect timing, and a 2 for 2 for this kicker.
Fielded at the 7. Escapes a defender. In pretty solid field position starting out here, Brock. He's tackled at the 29. The visitors headed back out on offense. Their quarterback returning to the field now. And you always got to watch him when you're down near the red zone. He is sitting 2nd right now among all NFL quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns. Setting him on the dive. Nearly starts the drive with a 1st down run. He stopped a yard short, gain of 9.
That is just a great drive start. What every offense wants. Gives you a little bit of energy, a little juice, and now a really manageable 2nd down.
And he has it to the 42 before they make the stop. A 19-yard pickup, and that's going to move the chains.
A gain of 19 yards. 1st down, Chicago.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. They go play action. Here's Smith. Hits his running back. And he's able to reach the 40 on that play.
Kate, I don't know why every once in a while I get these little flashbacks, but a little play like that just flashes me back to the preseason, my first preseason. And one of the veteran QBs said, hey, Brock, whatever you do, just find completions. You will never go broke taking a profit. Go get a completion. They're at a premium in this league.
That's brought in by White. And they haul him down just a foot or 2 shy of the red zone. It's a gain of 19 on the play. And that's a Chicago 1st down. Shotgun snap to Smith. That's caught at the 4. And they're going to get this down to the 4 before being stopped. 4 downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal. Working inside the red zone. Flushed out of the pocket. And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And they're headed in reverse after that sack.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? They built this type of lead for themselves because that's actually, Kate, their first sack of the game. And that's why smart front offices and complete teams build a well-rounded roster. That way, the core component like the pass rush today isn't there, or the other areas of the team pick each other up.
And this one's stopped at the 3-yard line. 3rd and goal, they need 3 yards here. Out of the gun, here's Smith. And it's incomplete on 3rd and goal.
That was it. That was their chance to escape this series. They were looking for a way out without giving up any points, and that was their ticket off the field. Unfortunately, it just couldn't quite hang on.
So on 4th down, they'll settle for a field goal attempt. This is a chip shot from the left hash. And it is good. No problems there on the shorter attempt. And the gap closes to 14 points.
Inspiring a bunch of confidence in himself right there, Kate. 2nd time they brought him out for a field goal, and 2nd time, well, he's knocked it right through. Trust is earned in a number of different ways on the field. That's the best way to gain it as a kicker.
And he's brought down just inside the 25. The home teams are being led back out there on offense by their quarterback. And on that last drive, Brock, he crossed a notable threshold in passing yards for the season. Always nice when you can reach one of those plateaus to look back on after the year's over. Plowing up the middle. And this drive's quickly headed in the wrong direction. First play set down behind the line.
I know from the position of the quarterback, Kate, sometimes you hand that ball, you put it in the belly of the running back, and you send him right into the teeth of a buzzsaw. You can feel it from the jump, and that call from the defense, it came at the perfect time.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down. He's going to throw this one. Gets it to him on the screen. And a nice gain here, but it stopped short of the first.
I'm a big fan of the screen pass. Really, you can run a screen as they just showed on any play. First, second, third down, sometimes even fourth. But it takes great acumen, a great football IQ defensively to have an awareness it's coming, and then more importantly, to stop it.
When he can't evade the coverage team for much, they stop him before he gets really anything on that return. The visitors and Rasheen Ali just about set to get going again on offense. And down double digits, Brock. Field goals like we saw in their last drive aren't going to move the needle as much as they need to. This drive's going to start out with a gain of 5 before they bring him down. First down run, now's in 5, now second and 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up second.
From the 27. He'll step up, and there he goes. And progress finally halted after he picks up a chunk.
He was brought down at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Chicago.
Ball on the 45, first and 10. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory. 7 yards on that last play, so this is second and 3. Back-to-back carries here. And whatever they were trying to do there is not going to work. Defenders all over it, so they take him down for a loss.
You can keep your job in the NFL as a D tackle if you eat up space. You really can. And you make that bad when you can defeat blocks, penetrate, and create runs for losses as a defensive tackle.
Short pass brought in. Then he has it to the 42 before they make the stop. Call it 7 yards on the play, and that's enough for the first down.
Chicago.
From the gun, Smith. Completed to his running back. And he's short of the first after a mild gain. After a good pickup, they've got second and 4.
Brings up second and 4.
Running it now out of the gun. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
He's tackled at the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 6. First down, Chicago.
Smith setting the throw. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose, incomplete. Couldn't connect on first, it's second down. Back to the air, it's Smith. He's going to tuck it and run. And he works this to the 15 before they make the stop. It's a 13-yard play, and that's enough for the first.
13-yard line. A gain of 13 yards. First down, Chicago.
From the red zone now. This throw is cupped. And he drives this forward to the 6. Nice spot here for the offense. It's second and 1. One of the tight ends in motion left.
At the 6-yard line.
Handoff on second and short. And they're going to have first and goal as he gets this down to the 4.
Hey, Kate, you want to see a picture in the football dictionary of staying on schedule? That was it.
Now Smith. Pressure's on him and it gets home. He's dropped. And the pressure drives them backwards.
You know, we do do enough of these games, Kate, and I am a big fan of creativity. And the QBs today are some of the best to ever do it. That's a situation where you got to know on first down, it's not time to be creative, especially if you feel the heat coming defensively. Just find a way to throw that sucker in the first row.
Throwing from the gun. The throw is caught. And that play is brought to a halt, they're going to say, at the 5-yard line. On 3rd and goal, Smith. And he'll score. Touchdown, Chicago.
Okay, we talked to enough coaches over the years, and find me a good red zone offense, and typically you'll find me a good creative quarterback, one that can extend a play, use his legs as effectively as he can his arm.
They'll set up here for the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And his guys chop the lead in half. It's down to 7.
Visitors 20.
Thanks so much for that look around the league, Scott. Now let's turn our attention back to this one as we get set to begin our 3rd quarter. Here's a return from the 7. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Chicago getting set to take the field now. They've certainly had no issues scoring, but their opponents have been right there with them, so they can really use some more points on this drive. And the receiver's going to take this one on the jet sweep. And they blow up the opening play of this drive. Love the aggressiveness from this defense.
Hey, I love the jet sweep as much as anybody, Kate. It could be super effective, but here's the deal. Once you send that receiver in motion, well, you're doomed. Because if they bring an edge pressure or there's a blitz, there's really no stopping it. Once that thing gets started, there's no audibling out of it.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter. It'll still be just a 1-score game when we resume play. Offense to the line for 2nd down. Pass play coming here. He's stepping up and takes off with this one. It's out of harm's way after stringing together some nice yards on that run. Chance to move the chains here on 3rd and 4. Pass play now. And that one hits the deck. No fear from them trying to go deep on 3rd down. You love that. Don't love the fact they couldn't connect. 4th down coming up.
It's now.
On now comes their punter. This one is fair caught, but let's see what that flag's all about. This drive may not be done.
Kicker. Defense.
Thought he had a chance to block it, but he ends up wiping out the kicker instead, and that's going to award their offense a 1st down. Running it after the penalty. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field. 1st down run gets him 6, so now it is 2nd and 4. From the 47. He lofts one deep, center of the field. And again, an interception is dropped. Looked a whole lot like the last play, didn't it, partner? And again, the turnover escapes him. It's going to be 3rd down. Has him on the quick hitter. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Markers reset, ball at the 37. First and 10, looking to throw. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. They'll throw it again. Finds him over the middle. And they take him down right along the 30. Coming to the line for their 9th play of the drive. This is 3rd and 3. Here's a throw. Escapes the pocket. Oh, he was on the move, and so was the defense, and they take him down. And the blitz comes through. That's going to back them up and bring up 4th down.
More and more, we're seeing the data and the numbers tell us cross midfield and be aggressive. Go for it. Go for it in these 4th down situations. But I promise you, Kate, that sack right there puts a seed of doubt in the head coach's decision-making process. It doesn't take a math major, Kate, to realize how important that field goal was. It's now a 2-score game really late and puts them in the driver's seat to go and finish this thing with the win.
Fielded at the 7. And a decent run back is going to end as they bring him down inside the 30. The visitors and Rasheen Ali just about set to get going again on offense. And his production is carried over into this second half. He keeps on running well, even with the workload they've placed upon him. Smith on 1st down. Finds his back complete. And they're going to bring him down just beyond the 30 at the 31.
3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 31-yard line.
2nd down now, 7 to go. From the 31. Completed over the middle. And he's going to bring it up to the 40-yard line before he stops. Give him 8 yards on the play. And that's a Chicago 1st down. New slated downs to approach here from the 40. Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. Dropped by the first guy he met. No gain on that 1st down run. Last run only gained a yard. That means it's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd down at the 40-yard line.
Smith to the air now. And he's not quite that fast. Let him just a bit too much. That's incomplete. No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Smith. He's got White, complete. And he's taken down directly on that 43-yard line. That play good for 17 and a 1st down.
1st down, Chicago.
Smith back to throw. Oh, he lost the football. Scooped up by the defense. The 30. The 10. And he's going to return this to the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. These guys can put this out of reach as they make it a 16-point lead. That was awesome. The return became a question of, does he have enough steam to make it back before someone runs him down?
That is the most sprinting we're going to see him do on a football field, maybe his whole life. That distance, a whole lot more than the few yards he's usually running towards quarterback in the pocket. But he had enough to reach that goal line. You're darn right he did. He could sense it. He wanted it.
That one splits the uprights. And these guys take a 3-possession lead. Still reeling a little after fumbling that away, but they're going to get it right back with this kickoff. Return coming from the 6. And this drive will start inside the 25. The visitors ready for their next series, led out on offense by their quarterback. And his effectiveness hasn't been limited to what he can do with his arm this season. On that last drive, he reached a significant mark for his efforts on the ground as well. Blown back gets the handoff. And his effort results in maybe 2 yards, but nothing more.
I don't think that's the amount that they were looking for there, Kate. And you lead to some shuffling around here in the playbook. Find a more aggressive call on 2nd.
From the 26 on 2nd down. Finds the in route complete. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
It's a gain of 17 yards. 1st down, Chicago.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. throwing is Smith. Connecting on the slant. And they get this down to the 44 before he stopped. They'll come up 1st and 10.
A gain of 12. First down.
Looking to throw, Smith. We've got a screen to the running back. And he works this to the 38 before going down. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4.
6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 38-yard line.
Give now to the running back. And 2nd down only works out for a yard.
Away at the 36-yard line.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 2.
Third down.
Trying to get it with the option here. And he's dropped just short the marker, maybe a yard away.
I can promise you, that's not what it looked like on the practice field nor on the whiteboard. Typically, QB run is going to net you a whole lot more yardage than that. But let's give some credit. Strong effort by that defensive front who contained a play that typically goes for a whole lot more.
They'll run for this. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
That's simply a bet being made that not only is your call or scheme better, but that your players just want it more than the big fellas on defense do. And clearly on that one, they did.
1st and 10 now. Here's Smith. Short pass brought in. And they bring him down at the 18-yard line. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short.
7 brings up 2nd down.
Hand off to the back. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
Tackle made at the 16-yard line.
3rd and a lone yard coming up.
And it's 3rd down.
On the sneak, it's Smith. They touch him down as he finds enough to pick up the 1st.
Everybody understood the assignment right there. For one guy, the quarterback, get the snap and make the marker. For the other 10, drive like mad, push like crazy, and create that space for the 1st.
And he's able to power this forward, but they stop him after 2 yards.
The tackle made at the 12-yard line.
Following that little 2-yard run, it's 2nd and 8. Back to the well again. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. Here they come. This is 3rd and 5.
It's a gain of 2 yards.
Pressure comes. Smith. And that's going to be brought in. Touchdown, Chicago. These guys get it back to within 2 possessions. All right, partner, what do you think? Was that a design read, or did he just see space and he was reacting more on the old quarterback instinct there?
Yes. I think yes on both of them, and that play happens so fast that it really is instincts on both sides.
That one right down the middle. And his guys cut the lead down to 10.
37. Visitors 27.
They recognize the situation they're in now. After that score, they're going to try to get it right back. And they've got it. No problem for the receiving team. The onside attempt fails. Well, kind of feels like we're starting to get to that point, Brock.
And what point is that, Cade?
You know, the bold point of the game where you have to try something bold could end up becoming a play that finally sinks them, though.
Yeah, it's time for desperation. Without a defensive stop here, it's really hard to lay out the scenarios for much success. Every second matters now when you don't come up with that onside kick.
The home team's headed back out on offense. Their quarterback returning to the field now. And this defense, boy, just beyond frustrated this late in the game. How's a group supposed to deal with him as a passer, Brock, and dedicate the resources needed to slow down this type of day on the ground, too? And this drive's quickly headed in the wrong direction. First play set down behind the line. Everyone's prepped. It's 2nd down now.
46-yard line.
Another carry for it. He finds a little opening, but not much. Picked up about 4 on 2nd down. Let's see what they draw up on this 3rd and 7.
Makes it 3rd and 7.
Looking for a throw here. Complete beyond the marker. And he's able to get this to the 32 before going down. A 9-yard gain and good for a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. It's the 2-minute warning from Chicago. These guys ready to pick up their 8th win of the season. It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. They'll run here on first down. And he gets this one down inside the 30. That's a gain of 5. So quickly the defense burns a timeout here. 1:57 remaining in the game. So gain of 5 on that first down. Let's see if they can repeat that performance now here on second. They give it to him again. Trying to fight free. He can't do so. They've got him behind the line. Now let's see, Brock, if they call their final timeout.
Brings up 3rd down and 6.
They come to the line here. This is 3rd and 6. Option give here. And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21. And right away we get a timeout from the defense. 1:51 to go. Victory formation here. Looks like they're going to take a knee on first down. They drop to a knee, and what little time we have left here is going to tick down. Lining up to take a knee on second down. Your favorite formation, right, Brock? The victory formation here as he takes a knee. So hard work rewarded as they take a well-earned win in this one. And it was a game for fans of high-scoring football, wasn't it? I know Brock was enjoying seeing both of these offenses work, and really not a lot to dislike from either group. Just one side working at a slightly better clip than the other. That was the difference in the win. So for Brock Huard and all of our crew, I'm Kate Scott, wrapping up another edition of the NFL on EA Sports. What a game for our winners as we say so long from Chicago.